Welcome back to Between Two White Coats, a podcast designed to help you be the healthiest version of yourself. I'm Dr. Michelle Plaster, a family medicine doctor.
And I'm her co-host, Amber Foster, a family nurse practitioner. In our combined 30 years in medicine, we've seen a lot.
We're discussing key issues surrounding health and wellness, answering some of our biggest questions, overcoming health obstacles, and giving patient-centered advice in hopes of educating you and providing the tools you need to live a healthy life.
If you find our podcast helpful, please consider subscribing so you don't miss an episode. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review. This will help other people find our podcast.
Thanks for joining us. We look forward to serving you. Welcome back to Between Two White Coats. We have a very special friend with us today, Ginny. Ginny is fabulous. She is a pillar in our community. She has been for a long time. Anything beautiful that is embroidered, I know she has touched because she owns Ginny's Embroidery. And Ginny is going to talk to us today about her wellness journey. But before we get into all of that, tell us about yourself.
Okay, so thank you for the nice introduction. I'm a mom of 2, a business owner. We've been in business almost 20 years now, so it's been a long and fun and crazy ride, but that means I'm very busy and have lots going on, but I love life. I have a good team now. Employees are wonderful when you have those and they do things.
Oh, that's a fabulous thing.
Yes. So me today versus me starting up the company is very different. I have more time and space for myself, which has been nice. And
space for the son who is graduating high school this year, and a 7th grade son, and a husband, and lots of pulling and lots of directions. Yes.
Yes. So very, very busy, but things are good. So
fantastic. Well, we wanted you to join us because you have what I fear is not a very unique situation of a health journey where you really had to be your own advocate, and the journey was not that easy. And some of the things that we've talked about in the podcast in the past of our American healthcare system and how there are more barriers than what it feels like there should be, and all kinds of other things. But I think your story is very relatable. Unfortunately, you're not alone. And so take us through some of what's happened for you in recent years in your health journey.
Sure. So I think one major thing to clarify is my mindset has always been, it really doesn't matter how you feel. You have stuff to do, suck it up, buttercup, and go. And I think women in general are like that. And so I hate to say it, but I don't think I really paid attention too much to how I was feeling until I just kind of reached a wall where I had to address it. But I would say 2 years ago, I went to my annual check with my physician at the time and said, hey, I'm really not feeling very good. I've been trying to lose weight for 3 years. I track macros. I track everything I eat. I work out regularly. I hit my protein goals, all of the things. And she looked at me and she goes, well, welcome to your 40s. And you're doing the right things. And then she said, might as well just get, happy with your body the way it is. And that was it. And it was kind of floored me it really ticked me off, to be quite honest. And to that, coming from a female, it was just a very defeating conversation. And so from that point, I was like, fine, I am going to keep doing the healthy things because I know that that's beneficial, but just kind of put it aside and just went on. And then about 6 months after that, I gained 25 pounds in 5 weeks.
Wow.
And I had not changed anything at all.
I would have been freaking out. Mm-hmm. Were you freaking out?
Yes. I think, well, not really. I think it was just noticeable. I thought, I think something's not working. I probably need to go to the doctor and figure something out. So I should have been freaking out a little bit more.
Like, oh my goodness, my pants don't
fit. But it was just like, obviously my body is not functioning. And the physicians I have now, it was more of a managed healthcare insurance. It's where we had to go. If you called to get an appointment, it would be a month later, or they would write it up wrong. And so you couldn't see, it was just a useless kind of experience. And so for me, I was like, I've got to figure out a different way to go about this. And of course, because we're in community together, I hear your team all the time talking about the wellness center and what they have to offer. And it just made sense. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get an appointment and go and just see. And of course, I'm a data-driven person. I like lots of data and graphs and, not color coordinated. I can read just the numbers, but I like data. And so I didn't really like the other things I'm hearing where people just go in and they just start taking testosterone without any blood work, or they just start doing this and taking these supplements without any proof that says that they need them. I think that's a pretty dangerous approach to anything.
One size fits all medicine is not good, because we are all so uniquely different.
Exactly. And so I knew the first time I would come here, it would be, I need blood work. I need lots and lots of blood work. I want you to run every test you possibly can come up with to figure out what's going on. And so that's what we did. And in all honesty, I thought when I had my follow-up, it would be something like, your blood work's normal, everything's fine, you're a little chunky, and we have a shot we can help you with. Like that was kind of my expectation going in. And then
you thought that for a reason.
Right.
That is what happens.
Yes. And so I went in, though, and I was a mess. Like, I didn't have any vitamin D. I didn't have any iron. We thought about maybe an infusion, and I think I would have gotten it if the insurance hadn't changed. My TPO was like 189. Like, it was just pre-diabetic. All of these issues were going on, and here I had a physician that welcome to your 40s, didn't even offer to do blood work to see if there's something happening. And so that started the journey here, which it's been about 8 months now, that I've been coming to the wellness center. Now we have new insurance. Our whole family is being seen here, and I'm like a different person. And I don't think I realized how bad I felt till I feel good.
Yeah.
And now I look back on that and I feel like I should have an award. Like, she got up every day, and there was no reason she should have been able to.
She got the got out of bed award, and you have no idea how hard that was.
And so it was very validating, truly, because I was feeling so terrible and not having success with anything. And I think we finally have my body functioning how it's supposed to. And it's great.
How do you feel now?
Amazing. I really do.
It's fabulous.
Which, with that, you said you've been here about 8 months, and because we are HIPAA compliant, I've never looked at your chart, so I don't know all the details.
Yeah.
But would you say, like, how long did it take you to feel quote unquote better? Like, have you had repeated labs? Like, typically we would do that in 3 to 6 months. So I don't know, like.
So we did 6 months labs and everything. We narrowed, like, I had 5 issues. Now we're just down to 1. So
nice.
I was a lot of the beginning stages of a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And so we've reversed most of that. But as far as feeling better, it took me a while because I hadn't been taking any supplements. And I think just getting used to taking those was a lot. And maybe about 3 months in, I was like, hey, I think
something's working.
Something's working.
Right.
And I was losing weight and things like that.
Have you lost?
42 pounds.
Okay.
Wow.
Good job.
Good for you. Good
but in
for
a
you.
healthy way.
Yeah.
It wasn't very rapid. It was, like 10 pounds a month kind of thing. But that part of it seems more secondary to
how you feel,
how I feel. And the cryotherapy has been great for inflammation. I mean, I feel like I should rent office space from you guys because I am here so much. It would just be easier to just go into my office and start working.
Yeah. Well, there's something you said at the beginning that I'm like, oh, that's my favorite kind of patient, because when people come in and they're like, I've read up on stuff, I've tried this, I've tried that, I'm doing all these things. What I know is I have a motivated patient, that I have someone who's willing to do what they need to do to feel better. And so that's fabulous, because when we then say, okay, here's what some of the underlying issues are, and here are some of the things that will help fix that, you're jumping right in and you're doing it all.
The driven personality.
Yes. But the other
Business
thing
owner,
that
like,
really,
check.
you tell me to do it, I'm going to do it. I will be the best at this. Yeah. The other thing that really stands out to me is, people do not, I think maybe healthcare providers start, because we do sick and we sit with sick people most of the day, that we start thinking, oh, people are sick. People are not walking around going, I feel bad. Mm-hmm. I feel bad. I think something's wrong. Now, of course, there's a very small percent of the population who may be hypochondriac types and they're always trying to feel bad. But the majority of people, especially driven, successful people, are not going to come to us and say, I feel bad. Mm-mm. By the time someone comes to us and says, something is wrong, then guess what? something is wrong.
I always will say, let me prove you right.
Yeah.
So like, even if I don't get it the first go around, like if we hadn't have drawn like your TPO, like the next go around, if I had not done that and like, okay, this isn't off, then let me do something more. So like, I keep digging until either we find something or I'm like, you're crazy. I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, sometimes that is the answer.
For the most part, I always say patients are right. Patients are always right.
Patients know their bodies.
Patients know their bodies.
And when something is wrong, something is wrong. And so it is our job to help figure out how we're going to get you to your better, and to listen. And I always train my med students, first you must listen. All the stuff you're learning right now in school matters none if you don't listen, because they're going to tell you what's wrong with them. And they're going to tell you what labs you need to order and what component of the physical exam you need to do. But you're going to get it all wrong if you're not listening. And too many times we first and foremost are not listening. And when you say I'm doing all the stuff and I'm feeling bad, I'm sorry, there's a whole lot of highly functional people in their 40s, and in their 60s and in their 80s. And so it's not okay to say, well, guess life's over. You're 40. I mean, oh my gosh, you're barely midlife. Like, you got another 40 years of feeling lousy, and is it only going to get worse? What do I have to look forward to? But you're also an intelligent person. You're like, well, I'm looking around at all the people I grew up with, and they didn't gain 25 pounds in a few weeks. So what's different about me? Something's up here. And so certainly, even if it is something is taking an organic and natural change of course, what is that something and what can we do to stop it? Because I don't want to feel this way, and I have every right to not feel this way. And so, I think first we have to listen. And second, we have to get off of the revolving door that is healthcare. And so, too many times healthcare providers are sitting with someone and it's just really like, how fast can I get you out of this room? Because there's two people waiting. And gosh, shame on us. Shame on us that is the system that we are functioning in. Shame on us as a country that we let that happen. Shame on us that you have to pay a lot of cash money to go see a concierge person to get more than 10 minutes. Shame on us as a country that this is our healthcare system at all. And shame on us as medical providers, because when you're no longer interested in what the person in front of you is saying, might be time to go teach at the med school. It's like at some point, our patients should always know that the promise that we make you is that we are equally invested. I have said, Amber's heard me say it a lot of times, I will never be more invested in your healthcare than you are. I will not try harder than you do.
And sometimes we do. We will try hard. And
we
then
will
I'm
try
like,
super hard, but I stop myself
out.
short. If someone else, if my patient isn't caring and invested, then I'm gonna exhaust myself. And with the number of patients that we care for, and we truly care, I can't be in this alone and trying to fix someone. And so I'm not gonna push harder than the person that I'm trying to help, but I will match their energy all day long. And when they are trying, then I am going to be trying right along with them until we get to where we're trying to get to. And when we're too tired or burnt out, or, there's an epidemic of burnout in healthcare. And when we're too tired or burnt out to meet people and try to figure out with them what's going on, and we have an invested patient that's telling us stuff, then that's a problem. So I do think that a lot of your story speaks to a broken healthcare system.
True.
And that there are bigger things that we need to say as a country, that this is your story. I wish you were alone. I wish you were on an island in this.
It's everyone. I can't tell you how many. You probably have a lot of new patients, because I've been chatting about this with all my groups of people, and it's usually women in my age group that have been told the same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. You need to get some blood work. You need to figure this out.
Saying what Shelly said is that you've invested in the process as well.
Right.
Like, it's taking you 8 months. You've lost the weight. You mentioned that you were doing cryo. Like, that is great for inflammation and energy. Like, I get out of that thing
Help
and I'm
balance
like,
your hormones.
Yes. So like,
natural
you're
way to do
doing
good
the
stuff.
other things. What benefits have you seen that are not like like labs and or weight? Like, what other benefits? Like more energy?
Energy is a huge thing. Well, I was getting to the point by the time I finished work and made dinner, like, I was done. Like, I just had to sit down, and then I would go lay down in the bed and go to sleep. And I just don't feel that way. Like I have more energy. I want to do stuff. I'm more engaged. I also I feel like I'm not, highly likely to murder anybody. 'Cause, I mean, my hormones are balanced and I'm not like unhinged. I was getting to the point I was like, this is not like, I'm just not myself. And I don't feel like I'm in control of myself. And I'm a very controlled person, I think actually it's kind of funny, but when the first appointment, when I came here, she was like, well, tell me how things are going. I said, well, I almost murdered my husband last night. But I looked at him and I said, I know that I'm irrational right now. And I'm not like, I just need to disengage because I'm furious and I know I shouldn't be. But
like this makes no sense.
Like my brain is saying you're psycho.
And this is also not me. This is not my personality. This is not who I am used to being. This is not who my husband is used to me being. Something is going on. And that's a huge thing. I just feel like myself again. Yeah.
And I have energy. I'm more just happy even with my team. Like I'm more motivated and engaged. I just have more capacity than where I was just running on empty. So I think that's a huge thing. And just, I don't feel like I'm fighting, for health, for what I would consider the basic, like the lowest standard of health. I was having to fight just for that.
Yeah.
And here, my experience is quite opposite, where it's, hey, let's dig into that. Let's run this test. We're going to do an ultrasound next week. That type of thing. There's not this long delay of trying to get care and fighting. I don't feel like I'm fighting. I feel like someone's fighting for me when it's nice.
I love that. And I'm so glad to hear it.
I know. I'm glad you feel that way because that's how we feel. We fight for people.
And I do think you and I were talking about the different, so healthcare in America is, we could talk about it forever, but it needs work and we need our leaders to recognize, I say to patients, we are in a healthcare crisis and patients look at me surprised. I'm like, well, you must not have needed very many health resources. Or I'll have people, I have a friend in Florida and he was like, you wouldn't believe the healthcare system in this town. And I was like, oh no, friend, it's bigger than your town. And so I do think that is, problem number one. I also think that in the healthcare of our country, the more that things are big business corporate owned, the further we get from the patient. And we are a doctor-owned private practice. And it's I review lots of charts. And we are really connected and we have providers who care and they're given a space where they're allowed to care. And we try to remove the things that create
a
burnout.
Team approach.
Yes.
And so I think that like often I'll come to you and say, hey, what do you think about this? And some of the other providers we go back and forth. So it's not just one person looking at your stuff. It's multiple people trying to be engaged and helpful and like, hey,
to miss something
what else can we do for this patient? And so I feel like we have great rapport amongst ourselves, which then benefits patients as well.
Yeah. But I do think that in some of the bigger healthcare systems, you are likely to, have to advocate for yourself pretty hard. And I do think it makes me beyond sad to hear that a 40-year-old woman who has children that she's raising, a business that she's running,
husband she really loves,
a
husband that she really
a husband that she truly does not want to kill, but at times it's like, what's going on inside of me? And that we would look at you and just dismiss that and normalize it. And for some people, that's going to be where they give up. And they're going to say, well, the healthcare system's obviously not going to help me, or maybe this is the rest of my life. And gosh, what if that is the rest of your life? All I can do is fix dinner before I have to rest. And I can't care about my family. And this isn't the person that I've been for 40 some years. Gosh, that's not okay. We shouldn't be okay with that.
Well, and the fact that she's like, welcome to your 40s. I mean, that there tells you, well, lots of people in their 40s are having similar issues. Maybe we should address that.
Did we just dismiss them all?
Like, I'm just like,
that's such a good point. That didn't even cross my mind.
Right there, I'm like, that would be, hey, physicians,
right?
Let's tackle this.
Must we all suffer so much? Or is there a solution? I also think that as we kind of, dig through this, talk about the advocating for yourself part, because I do think there are people who are in your similar situation. What would be the advice that you would give them?
Well, honestly, I would say come over here and because you can save a lot of time and energy. If you are stuck though, because one important thing is I've ended up just going private pay to find the care that I needed, even though we had other insurance, and not everybody is able to do that. And now, luckily, our insurance has changed and we're here. But if that's not an option for you to seek out elsewhere, I think you're just going to have to drive them crazy.
Yeah.
And literally call every single day and just continually stay on it until you can find and make a change.
I don't think you have to agree with your doctor in any way, any more
No.
than you have to agree with your mechanic or your butcher. If someone says something that doesn't sit with you, you have every right
Find
to
someone
say,
else.
I'm not okay with that answer. And so, in that moment, you have every right to say, I'm not okay with that answer. I intend to live to be 90 and I don't want to just roll over and accept that I feel so bad. And so I think in that moment, you're like, no. And then you say, I'm not going to see that person anymore. Who
Exactly.
else can I see in this system if this is the system that I have to be in? And you continue to push and advocate and not to accept what isn't okay.
Exactly.
I think if I were to summarize, and I think this is happening for a lot of people, I think we also miss when there's not one glaring, screaming problem, but there's 3, 4, 5, or 6 small on their way problems, and they're all insulting each other. And so any one of those things by itself, we go, well, your vitamin D is low. People live with low vitamin D. But it's creating some symptoms and your hormones are a little bit off. This isn't the worst menopause numbers I've ever seen, or your sugar is, or your sugar, you're on your way to, but you're not diabetic yet. So I'm not sure why you feel so bad. Well, that doesn't mean that at the time that you've eaten dinner and you feel like you need to lay down, that your sugar doesn't go to 300 and then it comes back down. So our average looks pretty okay, like you're on your way.
Right.
And when you're on your way down a lot of bad roads, but you haven't arrived to the bad destination, then I think we can dismiss it as well. Like that's a little bit off. When you have a lot of things that are a little bit off, you can feel a lot off.
Yes.
And so I think that that's also important to recognize. And then I think that even are your normal labs mean you're normal? Your normal labs mean you're normal when you feel normal. Sick people feel sick and well people feel well. And it's really not that hard and doesn't require that much training. And so when you feel sick and you're told, for you when you came here, we found some of the problems. But if we didn't, to what Amber said earlier, we would keep looking because you're telling us that you're not well and we just haven't found it yet. But we might also go ahead and start engaging in things that would help you feel better. Like, why don't you try cryotherapy and see if that doesn't give you more energy? Why don't we look at a couple of other, maybe some IVs or some vitamin supplements, and see if you feel better. And whatever's making you feel better, we keep doing it.
Exactly.
While we continue to look and see what the problem is. I've said to so many patients, you'll give up on me before I give up on you, because my job is not done until you feel better. And I think when medical providers take that attitude, I've had people cry many times when I say that because they have felt too many times like healthcare has given up on them. And when you don't feel good, you know it. And so good for you for advocating for yourself. Good for you for being able to get out of a system, a healthcare system that was not advocating or working for you. And thank you for telling your story, not only here, but personally with friends and family, because you're not alone. And a lot of people are frustrated and struggling. And midlife can be really hard. And things can change. But that doesn't mean that we can't change them back. And so I would end this with saying, welcome to your 40s. You feel great.
Thank you. I do.
Yeah.
I feel amazing. It's
Welcome
wonderful.
to your 40s. And as someone who's 54, your 50s can be even better.
Great.
We do not have to roll over and say, I guess I have to feel bad. Because
forever. Yes.
Yeah, because we really don't have to feel bad. Thanks so much for joining us, Ginny, and thanks
you.
for sharing your story.
We like to leave you on a good note. Today's Tell Me Something Good is laughing with people you love. Now, I know we sound professional all the time on this podcast. You have no doubt that we're professionals, but we do a lot of outtakes. We do a lot of laughing when we're creating the podcast for you guys. And so I truly enjoy laughing with Dr. Plaster, Caleb, and Elizabeth. It makes our really long podcasting days worth it. Take care of yourself. And Lord of mercy. This just proves, keep this. Do not edit this. Do not edit this. This just proves this is our last Tell Me Something Good. Okay? God almighty. Thank you for joining us today. And until next time, take care of yourself.